everybody, welcome to another episode of Non-Scripted Ramblings. I'm Kendall Richardson. Thank you so much again for joining me as I continue my journey through history. Can you see it up there? Have you spotted it yet? Yes, welcome one and all. I hope you're still with me. If you're here from the beginning, thank you, I appreciate you. And if you're just tuning in, thank you as well, and feel free to go back and watch my previous videos talking about the different tracks of the History album. Today I'm going to be diving into a song that kind of doesn't really need an introduction because it just is so grand and so epic and so beautiful and so impactful that it speaks volumes on its own. So without further ado, I am discussing today the Michael Jackson epic song, History is the album. The Michael Jackson epic song by the name of Earth Song. Yes, that's today's song, and I don't know how to... Again, I'm having trouble figuring out the right way to start a lot of these just because these songs are so important to me and to so many people, and I want to do them justice. So here goes nothing, I suppose. Earth Song is just... You may remember me from when I talked about Stranger in Moscow, a couple of videos ago, about how when I was younger and I was listening to this for the first time, you know, when I was 7 years old, and I never really liked the ballads. For some reason, Earth Song has always been a ballad of Michael Jackson's that I've adored through and through. There has never been a time in my life when I've gone, oh, I guess I'll skip that, it's long and slow. I'm like, it's not. It's really not. It's really, really not. Ever since I was a kid, I've loved this song, and to this day it is still, I'd say, out of all of MJ's social consciousness songs, and there are many, this is my favorite, easily. This is the one that I will go to if I had to pick out of, like, you know, Man in the Mirror, Heal the World, We Are the World, We've Had Enough, Even They Don't Care About Us. I will pick Earth Song time and time again. It just really grabs you. It really, really does. The lyrics are wonderful. MJ wrote and composed the song himself, and it was one that started in the late 80s. I can't remember if it was actually worked on for maybe the Bad album, or if he started working on it post-Bad for either Decade or Dangerous, but I know for a fact that it was considered for the Dangerous album, I'm pretty sure, at the very least, but it didn't make the final cut. Back then it was titled What About Us, which is, you know, the big chant that the Andre Crouch choir, you know, respond with to Michael in the epic, I don't want to say final chorus, but like the epic end to the song that goes for like two and a half minutes. Yeah, What About Us is the chant, and it's, you know, it's so powerful, and that was the original title of the song. The original version of the song too is so interesting to me because it's basically the same, with one exception, which is the that big ending I just referred to. In the History album version, the final version of the song, Michael is screaming out those lyrics, screaming them out with such raw and powerful emotion. It's just insane to listen to, and it still gives me chills to this day. But the original version of the song was conceived with those final, you know, lines, stanzas, if you will, were all in falsetto. And I've always tried to just listen to both and to compare which one I think is better or which one I prefer, and I think I still prefer the final version of him just yelling them out, and I don't know if that's got something to do with, you know, again, the whole vibe of History being a response to 93, and just how angry he is, and so that obviously comes with that. But I don't know if Earth Song has any kind of influence from that, and would be the part of the reason why Michael in the end decided to belt out those lyrics rather than sing them falsetto. but regardless, both versions are still very good. I still like listening to the demo. If you can find it, I think it's either on YouTube or it's online. There are places you can access it. If you would like to listen to it, you don't have to. You know, it was something that I think I found on an MJ forum back in like the early 2000s. I'm pretty sure that's when I first discovered it, because it was leaked. But, you know, and I was pretty naive when I was a teenager, so I don't have any kind of moral questioning of like, you know, maybe I shouldn't listen to this because, you know, maybe Michael didn't want it that way, but, you know, here we are. Nevertheless, if you do choose to seek it out, please do, because it is a very interesting difference between the two. And the way the falsetto is probably more haunting, I think. The way it sounds and the way it echoes on top of the grand orchestral, you know, production of then what was called What About Us. It is very haunting and very sad. It almost brings tears to my eyes listening to the falsetto version. But I think if I had to pick, you know, gun to the head, I would pick the screamed out version, because that's also got the finalized lyrics, because the demo obviously didn't have all the proper complete lyrics, like, you know, and things were changed, and obviously between the years as they went by and the versions of the song. But yeah, for me, I just love the way, my favourite part about the whole song, okay, I have two favourite parts about the whole song. First favourite part about Earth Song that I love is the end, when the last line Michael screams out, he sings out, "Do we give a damn?" And then the way the music kind of like, just kind of climaxes after that is just, it's so good. I get chills listening to that every time I listen to Earth Song, every single time that he screams, "Do we give a damn?" And I'm just like, oh God. It's incredible, and I love it. I love it so much because it speaks so many volumes about the message of the song, Michael's thoughts on the way the environment has been treated over, you know, humanity's, you know, thousands of years of existence, and especially over the last 100, 200 years, the way that, you know, our pollution has damaged the environment and the world and all of that. You know, it's a huge, huge statement, and it just sums it up perfectly, that do we give a damn? Because, like, when you look at it, like, yeah, sure, some humans do give a damn. A lot of people care. But not enough people care, you know? And that's really what he's getting at during that line. And I mean, that's the message of the whole song, really. So the fact that the last line of the song is "Do we give a damn?" It's just almost like it's a desperate cry for help. That's just like what's the point? Like, I'm here, I'm belting out these words. I'm like, what about this and what about that? And, you know, the choir's like, what about us? Like, what about humanity, you know? Put us first, you know? Because unfortunately, you know, a consequence of humanity's advancement has been the damage done to Mother Nature, and I just love the way that this song just addresses that and attacks that and goes for that, and the way Michael expresses it through the lyrics and the music and the way he sings. It's just the whole thing, the whole bag is just 10 out of 10. I love it so much. My other favourite part about the song that I really, really love, and when I was researching the song, there was a critic that a few years ago referred to this as the best one of its kind, as one of the best ones of its kind in music history, and that is the key change. The epic key change in this song is so good. Right before, you know, it leads into the epic call and response ending of the song, but, you know, it's this epic key change that just comes like after the bridge and the second or third chorus. I think it's the third chorus, and then I love the way it just kind of, the ooh kind of lingers, and then you hear a click, right? And then the key changes, and then it's just like, oh God, help me. Like, it's so good. I love it so much. I really do. It's so powerful. It's so overwhelming in the way it makes me feel. No pun intended. Yeah, it's just, chills. The whole song is just chills. It's so great. And I think that's why it's just always stuck with me, is, like I said, the one kind of ballad, I suppose. It's, you know, so I guess it's not a proper ballad, but, you know, power ballad. You know, it's always stuck with me as being the one that I've always liked, and, you know, a song from history that I've always really liked and loved, just because of musically how strong it is and how effective it is. The whole thing, from concept to execution, is just, it's perfect. It's, again, alongside Stranger in Moscow, for me, it's got to be up there with one of his best songs, you know? And I just love the fact that it ended up on history as it did. Because, you know, it would have been interesting if it had made Dangerous, but I suppose with Heal the World being the big anthemic track on that, and Will You Be There, of course, on Dangerous, yeah, it's kind of hard to imagine What About Us / Earth Song fitting into that dynamic. I don't think it would have worked as well. So I'm really glad that MJ sat on it for a few more years and was like, right, now is the time for Earth Song. Oh man, it's so good. Of course, we all know Earth Song was released as a single. It was a huge release, again, especially in the Europe and UK. I'm pretty sure it went to #1 in the UK at the end of '95, which is really cool. It was released as a single worldwide on the 27th of November in 1995. The music video, again, is just really there to really reinforce the themes and the concept and the message that MJ was trying to get across to everybody, and it's beautifully shot. This was the first collaboration between MJ and Nick Brandt, the photographer who also I mentioned earlier in one of my videos directed Stranger in Moscow. So yeah, this short film is, it's heart-stopping stuff, powerful stuff, moving stuff. It's yeah, it's really incredible to witness. It was nominated for a Grammy Award for Best Music Video Short Form. Didn't win, sadly, but nomination nonetheless, which is really cool. It was shot in 4 different regions of the world. So there were parts shot in a place called Warwick in New York. Tanzania was also featured in this. Karlovac in Croatia was featured heavily as well. And the big one for me is the Amazon rainforest. There were big parts of this were filmed in the Amazon. And the really sad thing and ironic thing, I suppose, about Earth Song filming there is that literally a week after the video, like the short film, was completed, they tore down like a huge part of that rainforest. And it's just, I don't know, it's darkly poetic in a way, you know? Yeah, it's not good. And it only kind of serves to help shine a light on this song and shine a light on the problems of the world and how we're treating it, you know? And I really hate that happened, you know? Yeah, it's just really, really sad. It's so sad, you know? I don't even know how much of the Amazon's left today, but yeah. Anyway, let's not get too political, but there's that. But it's a gorgeous video, you know, about just showing how devastated Mother Nature is, and I love the concept of the video of, like, you know, all these people in these different locations witnessing, you know, horrors committed by humanity and the effect on the environment around them. And then, you know, when that key change happens in the song, in the video, that's when Mother Nature decides to fight back. And then she decides, she's like, right, we're at the end. This is the end of me if I don't do something. So Mother Nature decides to turn back time and put everything right again and bring everything back to life and restore Earth to its former glory. And this happens while, you know, the different groups of people, MJ included, are witnessing it all happening around them, and this incredible wind that just comes on and just blasts them all, and they're holding on for dear life, but they're not scared, they're not sad, they're like, yes, Mother Nature, yes, fight back, yes. It's just so positive and empowering, and I love the way, because this probably wouldn't have worked as well if it was the falsetto vocals from MJ in that part of the song, because it really helps the fact that he's holding onto these two poles, and he's just like, as the wind goes through him, and he's just like screaming out these words, you know. And then the call and response starts from the Andre Crouch choir, and it's mesmerizing, it's magical, it's captivating, it's epic. It's one of the best things MJ ever did, really. The whole thing, I love it. Another really cool thing about Earth Song that I wanted to mention was online you can watch. There's footage of MJ doing it. Like, there's heaps of different videos of him doing it on the History Tour, the World Tour in 96, 97. Highly recommend checking those out if you haven't seen the song performed live. One of the best performances, though, if you're gonna watch a performance of Earth Song live, you have to watch the Royal Brunei concert. That happened in 96. I think it was 96, like late 96, early 97. I think that's when that happened. But it's... Yeah, I don't want to cry. I might cry. Just because there's a part, like, towards the end of the song where Michael is really getting into it, and, you know, the History Tour, sadly, was notorious for, you know, bits of lip syncing in certain parts, and I don't judge Michael for that, because the fact that he was able to get up and do what he did and sing live and dance, it's so hard, you know. He should be commended for that, and he spent most of his career singing live, but parts in the History Tour, unfortunately, were lip sync. But with Earth Song, it kind of it serves to elevate the parts he actually does sing live for me, because especially with this Royal Brunei concert, and I think he did this on a couple of other occasions, but towards the end of the song, he's just standing, the music kind of quietens behind him, and he's just standing there, and he's clapping, and he's like preaching to the choir big time, and he's screaming the words, "Tell me what about it," you know, because they're like, "What about us?" He's like, "Well, tell me what about it, you know, what about humanity? Like, can't you see what you've done, you know, to the world, to Mother Nature, to our earth, to our home, you know?" And the way he just lets himself go and just belts out those words repeatedly, and just the way he throws his body into it. That's another thing I love about Michael Jackson, just the way he really felt everything that he was doing when he was performing. You know, it's like, it's on another plane of existence, really. He's up there and we're down here, and just, it's so incredible. So I highly recommend seeking that video out on YouTube if you guys haven't seen it, because it's, yeah, peak live performance for me. One of the best, absolutely one of the best. And the last thing I wanted to mention before I wrapped up my thoughts on Earth Song, because this is an epic song and it deserves an epic video, which is epically long already at this point, so thank you for sticking with me. The last thing I wanted to mention is that, bittersweet to say, but it's true, this was, God, I might actually cry now. Oh, come on, Kendall, keep it together. This was the last song Michael Jackson ever performed in his life. It was, you know, going to be featured hugely, in a huge way, as part of his This Is It tour. The concerts there in London, he was supposed to perform, should have performed. Yeah, or maybe never should have even done in the first place, but we won't go into that. Let's not go there. But regardless, yeah, on June 24th, 2009, the day before he passed away, this was the final song they rehearsed that night before he went home. And I think my understanding is that they actually used that footage in the This Is It film. And I didn't know that the first time I watched This Is It, you know, back in 2009, like October when it came out. I didn't know that. And when I found that out, I think I started crying immediately. Just because that was the last thing he ever did, you know? the last song he ever sang was Earth Song, and I think it also kind of makes sense for it to be that. Like, I mean, any of his songs would have been appropriate, of course, but because he had such incredible songs and just legendary pieces of music over the years, but Earth Song, for that to be, you know, a message so close to him and his heart and what he felt and believed in, for that to be the last song he on this earth that he would ever perform is just, yeah, it's just kind of beautiful in a way, you know. It's so sad, and I'm trying not to cry now, but yeah, but it's I think it's bittersweet, but it's very meaningful, and yeah, anyway, I don't want to go too much into that because I'll break down and cry. So anyway, I think that's it for Earth Song, guys. I think I've really communicated my thoughts on this song very well, and just how powerful and just how much it affects me deeply as a human and as a fan of Michael Jackson's. It's just one of, yeah, it's just Earth Song. It's just, yeah, do yourselves a favor, go watch the video, go listen to the song, you know, just go let it wash over you, experience it, you know, take in everything I've said maybe, and you might get a new experience out of it. I don't know, probably not. I'm not that great of a of an influencer, so, but you know, just it's an important message that we should, you know, really keep reminding ourselves of and heed to in our everyday life. And that's one of the most powerful messages Michael Jackson left us with, and like I said, it's very fitting in a sad way that it was the last song he ever performed. So there it is, guys, Earth Song. Those are my thoughts. Thank you so much for listening and putting up with me and my antics in this video and in these videos. I'm hoping you're enjoying these. I'm hoping you're enjoying watching them as much as I am enjoying doing them, because this has been a lot of fun so far. So thank you. Next time I will be back, and I'm going to be talking about track 6, which now I should say is the first song I'm talking about that wasn't ever released as a single on the album History, and that is the song DS. So can't wait to get stuck into that. Thank you guys again so much for watching. I really appreciate it. I've been Kendall Richardson, and you've just experienced non-scripted ramblings.